kind of a cheating block. I can go in there and I can hit this hole, knock that out, take my calipers, measure from there to the edge, and there's my 5-inch, well, it's actually 5 1/4, 5 1/4 circle. And it takes 2 seconds to do that. If I want to go with a 6-inch, I go out to here, 6 1/2, I'll go out to there. And this is something that it works every time. You don't spend a lot of time measuring. You lay it down one time, make your punch. Then here, go out to the edge. Now there's my 6-inch. Probably closer to 6 1/4. And then here, there's one that'll be 6 1/2. Here, I didn't do that right. Need to open it. Let me do that one again. So if you take it out there, and then just put your center mark there, and hold it right there. I just throw that on my bench. So now you come to your center mark, put that in there, open your compass up. There you go. Just that quick. Then I'll take it to the bandsaw and cut that out. And depending on what kind of blade I have on the bandsaw, right now I have 3/4 inch blade. So it doesn't hold a real tight corner, a real tight circle. So I'll cut the corners off of it. And then I'll put it in my chuck here. But that jig saves quite a bit of time. You don't have to take your compass and measure out 2 1/2 inches. You knock your center point, get your compass, and all of a sudden you got your circle, and you can cut it out and start from there.
Square form,
If it's 85, it'll get you close. Right. It's not going to be perfect. What it would do is it would throw your center point off center. One side you would get right. One side would get your 5-inch circle. The other half of that circle is only going to be 4 1/2. So if it's not 90, then that's when I'll get a tape measure or a rule out. But that's just a little trick that I use to speed up the process of laying my circles out. And then another issue that was causing me a lot of time is when I do it with the chucks, I put a mortise in the bottom of it, and I have a set of jaws that's a 3-inch circle. Well, I'd put a mortise in, and one of them would be 2 7/8, and the next one would be 3 1/2 or 4 inches. So then if it got over 4 inches, I'd have to change my jaws. So I thought, this is a pain in the butt. I didn't like not being consistent with my mortise. So I come up with this. And it's just put 2 screws in a block of wood. They're 1 inch and 9/16 apart. So I've got a little bitty dimple here for my center point. Start that up. Put that in there. Scrape it. Now I know exactly where I need to cut that mortise for my jaws. And again, that saves a lot of time because I know I'm doing it right. I know what I need to do, and it's consistent. So now I'll come in, and this way here, I'm going to use 2 chucks, and not everyone has 2 chucks, and not everyone has one that'll go up to 5 inches. So I'm going to turn my mortise in there. Yeah, let me put my shield on. And I stopped a little bit short of my mark. Okay. And I'm going to be using a set of dovetail jaws. So I come in here with this. Now I know that's going to fit my chuck. Then I'm going to smooth it out. Okay. So now that top is ready to be put into a set of jaws and turn the bottom out of it, not the top. Then for the and when I do this, I'll do 5 or 6, 4 or 5, depending on how many blanks I have. But I'll do all my bottoms at one time, then I'll go to all the tops. Okay, now let's see. All right, my center point still right there, so I know where the center is. I know I want a 3-inch chuck jaws, so I'll put that in the center. Helps if you can see it. And there's my mark. So now I know that that's going to fit on my chuck if I stay to that line. And I come back in with the screw and go right to my line. Okay. So now there's the bottom of the top. And then if anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer, but we're all wood turners, so what I'm showing you is not nothing you haven't seen before, probably. Just one way to do this. So put that on there. And I don't know if you can see that, but the jaws of my chuck, there's about an eighth of an inch or probably a little under eighth of an inch gap between my jaws. So I'm getting the maximum hold right there because of that little cheater block that I made. So this is the top, so I'll turn it around. Okay, we're round now. And I kept the president of the Bloomington Club, Mark somebody, Mark Toon. I sent him some pictures one day of our wig stands, and he said my corners were too sharp, that the women wouldn't like them. Um, so what I do now is, since I've heard from him, is I'll go approximately a half inch on the top and then kind of roll that corner back so that it's not as pointed as it was, as I used to make them. These are pretty simple to make. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. I like to take away the sharp edges there. This tool rest is kind of small.
We got a bigger one.
But it's okay. It's okay. Then make this a little high. That pretty much got the top right there. So I've rounded the corner some so that it's not going to leave a dent. Now there's a little hump there on the edge.
You say that your bed in weight itself.
I don't know if it does or not. Um, Mark Toon just said that mine, when I first started making them, they were too sharp. It doesn't take but a couple of seconds to round that corner off some. Um, there's still a little edge there. And John Kreitler, he told me anything over a half hour, the demo's too long. So I'll try not to go over a half hour. So there that is. And it could use a little sanding, not a whole lot of sanding, but I'm not going to go into sanding tonight. I think we all know how to sand. And I watched the video of one guy, he said that he didn't use sandpaper in his shop. Well, I buy it by the yard. So industrial abrasives, they'll sell you a yard of it at a time. Put up there. Now, the women, they want to take their earrings and their jewelry off. So give them a place to put it. I want to go a little deeper than that. And a sharp tool makes a big difference. If the tools get dull, I don't like them. All right, we'll do a thing. Now, since this is the bottom, it needs a little hole in there. Pardon me? Well, I do 1 inch. Yeah. And you could use any size crowbar, I think uses 3/4. Um, I go with 1 inch. But that's all there is to turning the top and the bottom. That hole's not very deep, but it'll be all right. Any questions on that? I mean, there's nothing to it. It's just turning things around.
Engrave all of yours now? Is that your kind of trademark?
It's the wife's because if I don't have her one to engrave, why it occupies her mind. And yeah, so yeah, she colors almost everything we do now. Yeah. Right now she's caught up, and I'm in deep doo because Roger, he come over this morning and spent the day, and we were talking instead of turning, and so she didn't have um, anything to paint tonight. Okay. So this is the top and the bottom that was made with two different chucks. So between the two chucks, there's a few $100s there, so it's not without a cost. And I was thinking on how I could do it and not use a chuck. And my idea was to use a glue block. Well, John Kreitler come over a couple of weeks ago, and he didn't like the glue block idea, so he uses a faceplate. So you put the faceplate on there. And then, let me see here. Let's take this out of here. Well, instead of glue block, double-sided tape. And I took a picture of it, and I tried looking for it earlier, and I had deleted it. So this really works. Oh, I've got one. It's so tacky that.
That a special tape.
Is like $15 for, I think it's 100 yards. So it's not without a cost, but it's not terribly expensive. And you can get more than one piece out of it. You can turn more than one piece. It's carpet tape. And I took a picture, but I, for some reason, have deleted it. Uh, the brand of tape. So for this, I have a center point on my chunk of wood here. Okay. So that gets me back to center. So I made a live center, a soft center that I can press that on there with. And to do it this way, your piece of wood has to be flat. If it's not flat, then chances are it's not going to have a good result for you. And I cut my blanks out with a bandsaw, so there's not a whole lot of turning to get it round. And what I'm basically doing is taking a few corners off. I like to get it as little tear out as possible. Take the points off. Take the sharp edges off. And now, when I do it with the tape, I'll put the groove in there for the jewelry, but I don't go very deep. Um, I think you could go more aggressive than I do, but why? What's the purpose in it? So keep it about 1,000. Yeah, I got a little pump in there. There's a little ridge out there that I don't like. You got to remember when you do it this way that you don't have a lot of wood there, so I only go in about a 1/2 inch, and that'll be enough to hold the spindle. You're not talking a lot of weight that's going to be used in this, so that's pretty much the bottom. Then pop that off there. Yeah. We're going to cheat on this one a little bit, if I can see it. Okay, now I've got it up there. I want to take it out because I want to put a little pressure on it just for a minute or so. And really put the pressure to it. And go ahead and turn a little of this around. I don't want to go into my glue block or my tape block. I can go a little bit up there. Okay, so this is the top, so it needs a hole in the bottom. So now we've got that done. We've got the hole in the bottom, but now it won't fit on the glue block. Yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna glue this one back on there real quick and pass it around so you can see how well that that it holds. And it may or may not hold. Here, try that. So since I'm not using two chucks, I'm going to use two face plates.
So if you did that, use two chucks, you can go back to original method all the time. Think, right?
Right, right, right. And the same way here, if I didn't have two face plates, I would be doing a half dozen tops, half dozen bottoms. Has anybody pried that off there yet, or?
Simple real well, man.
Pardon me? It does. I'm surprised how well it actually works.
Working perfectly.
Sorry, please. On second that one.
And by having that little tenon on there, it automatically centers up. And then, as an added precaution, I just run that in there just for a little bit as I'm going to go ahead and turn this around, turn my shoulder on it. Today, I only go about 1,000 RPMs. I don't trust it going higher than that. And use a sharp shaft. There. No, no. I had a negative rake on it, and I could not get that thing to cut. I did not like the negative rake scraper at all. And I brought, I brought two, I brought two scrapers in case you got it come on. Okay. What do you have to do to it to get it to come off? Keep pulling, yeah. But there you go, and um, that's all there is to turning the tops and the bottoms. And you can do it, you can do several things different ways. One, the way I do it, because I have the two chucks, that's the way I prefer to do it. But if you don't have those two chucks, most lathes will come with a faceplate and some double-sided tape, and you can turn top and bottom. And there's that. And everybody knows how to turn a spindle, so I'm not going to show that tonight, I don't think. Any questions? Pardon me? How do you turn a spindle? Okay. And Crowbar, when he did his demonstration, he said the member said he had a full shop, but then found out that he didn't have a full shop, didn't have those collet chucks. Well, that was me. I didn't have those collet chucks that he has. But what I had would work. The way he does it is just as nice as mine. It's just different. And with 414, he's the master of it. So, well, no, it'll be a year next month. Yeah. Probably since last summer, the only thing I've done one segmented bowl and maybe two or three other things, but this is about all I turn anymore. My wife decided she didn't want to get in any more shows. You can only keep so much at home. And like somebody else mentioned, I think it was Scott, the kids, they don't want it anymore. And with the wing stands, there's a need out there. That need is not going to go away, unfortunately. And the women that receive those wing stands are very appreciative. We received a couple of emails back. They sent a card to the club. The lady that emailed last month had pancreatic cancer, and by the time I had her wing stand got mailed to her, she was also diagnosed with breast cancer. So, she's going to go through a really rough time, but there's one bright spot in there when she received that wing stand. So, if you have the wood, have the abilities, why not? That's all that I have. And I didn't send anything flying this time. Yes, I'm calling it a success. Huh?